welcome back to Emotional Mojo. So our challenge today is to cut out the stress in your life. One way to de-stress at the office, at home, even in the car is by doing some simple yoga moves. And joining us is life coach, yoga teacher, author, and creator of Empath Yoga, Erica Boucher. We're so happy to have you back. It's been a while.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
This is the perfect time for you to be here because we think stress, we think let's do some yoga.
Yeah,
How can it help with stress and enhancing the quality of our lives?
The first thing that any yoga teacher is going to work with a student on is breathing. Just by learning to re-engage in that long, deep breathing that all babies and children do. We all did it as children. Just by engaging in long, deep breathing, breathing deep into the belly and all the way up into the top of the lungs, you're engaging a bundle of nerves at the base of the spine, which stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So it's the relaxation response.
So how long are you supposed to hold that breath? You say deep breathing, but like, should you 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds?
I encourage people to take a deep breath in for a count of 8, hold it for maybe a count of 2, and then a full count of 8 on the out breath, because it gets you to slow down and deepen the breath.
That is slow.
You also recommend people closing their eyes.
Right.
Why?
Just by closing our eyes, we eliminate about 95% of the external distractions.
Yes.
And it allows us to kind of shut out the outside world for a moment and get back to our own center. And then we can, if we're breathing, we can start to create some space between our thoughts and start to experience a little more peace.
It's pretty amazing how, you know, we all think, well, everybody breathes, and so we should all know how to do it properly.
Right.
But in reality, most people don't breathe properly.
That's
we do
'cause we're
so
not-
much shallow breathing.
We don't do it consciously. So this is conscious breathing on the idea that it's going to de-stress me.
And obviously doing some simple yoga stretches, just stretching, because if you're like this at your computer all day long and you don't just open up a little.
Exactly.
How can stretching help us when
Well,
it comes
the
to
tension
stress?
starts to accumulate, the body starts to contract. And so just by breathing and moving, you're opening up the body and creating space so that some of that stuck energy can be released.
All right, we're not asking people to do downward dog in the middle of their cubicle or anything crazy. You have some really simple moves and breathing techniques we can do and not look crazy, right? Let's do a couple of them.
Sure.
Why don't we do something? Let's relax here.
Okay. Well, the first thing I always think of is the spine moves in 6 directions, and the spine houses that central nervous system. So if you can move the spine in all 6 directions, you're going to be making your nervous system happy.
Okay, so how do we
I
do
need
that?
a demo of that.
Okay, so if you're sitting at a desk, I've even done this on planes, wherever I am. First thing you could do, especially since if you're sitting at a desk, you tend to round forward and close
all
in
the
around
time.
the heart. So interlacing your fingers behind your back and just extending the arms back and broadening across the chest, letting the heart open and breathing deeply. And if you combine that with that long, deep breathing, you really start to feel yourself settle.
great.
Your energy starts to settle.
Okay, I can't do what she's doing. Missy doing the
downward dog.
This I can handle. Okay, what else can we do?
Well, then you can bring the arms up and interlace the fingers, turn and press the palms up, and then you're starting to stretch the shoulders in a different way.
That feels good.
And it also
I don't want to
lengthens
like
the spine.
automatically do that.
Right. And that's the next thing. So moving the spine in the other direction, side bends, just lower one hand to the side and open up the side body. A lot of emotional energy gets stored in the side body here.
Really?
So if you can open up the side body and breathe, you can almost feel the endorphin release when you release from that. And then you always want to balance it out to the other side.
Otherwise we're going to be all unbalanced rest of the day.
So for people at home today, because we're challenging them to cut stress, if you could choose one thing to do to help with stress today, what would you say it should be for people?
Long, deep breathing.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing. It's the first thing therapists teach anybody dealing with
Are you
stress.
agreeing?
Totally, 100%. First thing I always teach people to do is deep breathing.
It's
we don't do it
physiologically
very
impossible to stay stressed if you're breathing deeply.
Yes.
It's a technology that's built into the body.
Well, and I feel like a lot of people get scared of yoga because of seeing some of the crazy moves that I know you can do. So, I mean, I like just this breathing and the stretching and just starting with some of these more simple moves because it's not quite as scary
It's
for
an
people.
instant way to ground yourself.
And the great thing about breathing is you take it everywhere with you. A lot of the tools and techniques we teach people, you can't always have them with you wherever you go.
You can do it in the car,
You
on
can
the
do
highway,
deep breathing
you can do it
anywhere.
You're not going to do a warrior pose in line at the grocery store,
Right.
but you can
Do some deep breathing.
Just don't close your eyes on the highway.
Yes, please don't close your eyes on the highway.
Guys, if you want more information on Erica's programs, you can visit empathyoga.com.